So this is my first take. I don't know if I'll actually use this video or if it's just my tester. But this is my garage project. I don't really know what to call it yet because some of my friends have done garage projects but they had a real purpose. Listening rooms for sound, or their office for their work, or maybe a bit of a studio for recording people and playing back tunes and mastering. I'd quite like mine to be a bit of everything, but it's probably just going to become a big tech room where I can put all my gadgets and do a bit of work and watch some TV away from everyone in the house. I've got the problem that everyone has. You move into a house, you then have 2 kids, and every time you leave a room, they make a mess of everything. So I've been trying to come up with this project. I've got a little room in the front of my house that my wife uses as her office from when she's working from home. And it was going to be like that. I put my TV in there. I've got a bit of hi-fi kit, but every time I move, it's filled with junk. The kids have been in playing, or someone's got a new idea to put more things in there. So over the last kind of 2 years when I've been in my house, I've been thinking about this, and then it dawned on me, if I got the garage, then I could do it with the garage, because I'm the only one that puts anything in the garage and goes into the garage, and it's a separate space. So the kids aren't going to come in here, my wife's not going to noticeably do that. I'm not saying she's not going to dump stuff here though, she probably will eventually. Can you put that in the garage, can you do this? But the story is I've got a double garage, but it's a double garage lengthways. So you're seeing about half of it in this shot. It's a 9.5 metre long by 2.85 wide garage. So what I'm going to do is, there's a garage door behind the camera where I'm filming from. So I'm going to have about just under 2.5 metres of space that I'm going to keep as a garage, which means I'm not going to have to remove the garage door, but I'm going to keep that as a garage so I can put in this kind of dirty stuff around, like tools and leftover things and bikes and things like that in there. I'm going to put up a stud wall, and that turns this space into just about 7.2, 7.3 metre long space and 2.85 wide. And from there, as you can see, I've got an empty space. It's taken me about 2 months to get to here because the garage for the second time after moving in was full of stuff. After gutting it once, I had to gut it again, give everything away, go to the tip, everything like that. It's a 1976 house. So the original garage was built in 1976 up until this point here on the floor. From what I can tell, between 1976 and 1984, so 8 years, the first owner then built a second section onto the garage. And you'll see it, there's a big line on the floor between the pillars, you might not. And then my mum and dad bought this house in 1984. So I know the history since then, and they didn't do anything to the garage. So the problem with that is that it's a brick garage with a really strong, like good wooden roof, no problems, doesn't leak, but was really dusty and grimy and dirty. So when I gutted it, I had to give it a clean, which took 4 or 5 goes. I'm about to do that again just before I do my next stage. And then my sister made a point at one point to say, what you should do is you should paint the inside and that would make it clean. I'm like, that's a smart move. Stage 2, so tidy the garage. Stage 2, I painted the inside of the garage with a standard paint that everyone talked about online has been really good for masonry inside. It's waterproof, it's mold, semi-resistant, all these kind of things. So I've done that, and now I'm about to go and put polyurethane floor garage paint on the floor, which is going to be great. It's going to cover the whole floor, so 7.2 by 825. If I've got enough, I'll probably go up a layer and go up to the top of the first brick, just so that there's a seal, and then I'll go from there. My plan as long as I keep my enthusiasm. I don't know, we'll see. I like a project, so is to stud it all, then to insulate it, then get an electrician in to redo the wiring in the garage, 6 double plugs, electric heater, then acoustic, or insulate it a little bit more so it's fully like maybe double insulated, a chipboard floor with a little bit of insulation, then acoustic plasterboard. Not the crazy stuff, just the affordable stuff. Acoustic plasterboard, the whole lot, roof, walls, the whole lot. So it's going to take quite a lot of all the walls, but then I'll have a kind of potential box room that I can have a chance at heating, rather than the moment it gets cold out here because it's separate from the house. And then from there, once everything's done and it's an empty room, I'll do just a really quick bit of playing around with a microphone, see what the room does, if it makes crazy noises, if it's anything. If it's not, I won't do very much. If it's got any horrific noises or things that it can and can't do frequency-wise, high pitch issues, bass wave issue, all that kind of stuff, then I'll look at how I'm going to treat the room. I'll probably put some acoustic panels up just so that it's not crazy, especially at that end, because that's the end I'm going to put most of my kit away from the door. TV, hi-fi, all these kind of things. But at the moment I'm only using the kit that I've got to keep costs down, because I'm going to spend all the money on doing the room. And then once I get to that point, then I'll make a long-term plan of what I want to upgrade and what I want to invest in. And if I get to the point of, do I want better speakers for the room? Do I want different wiring for the room? Do I need to put in more treatment and all these kind of things? I've got a lot of cool ideas. I've got lots of little bits. I'm an AV and IT technician as a job, so that's why I want this room, so that I can do things that I can play around with, computer builds, big TV screens, all these kind of things, playing around with what you can and can't do with live streaming, all this stuff. I've got an idea that I might even hook up a webcam in the middle of the room that I can change directions so that I can do video calls and recording down to my desk area at the back third, but then also swing it around and do audio and video and hardware videos facing the front of the room with the same camera, and just make it so that the camera can change direction. But that's like right at the end, once I've put everything in and I've got everything working and sounding good, and I'll put in some old furniture and we'll be great, good to go. I'm doing this video just more so that I can keep myself accountable, but also if anyone wants to comment, that'd be great. You can give me a hard time, you can question what I'm doing, you can give me some pointers. I've got here because I saw some other people who both I know and both I follow doing similar projects, and it gave me inspiration to do this and think, do you know what, even if I do it badly, it's still done. And because I'm doing it myself, it won't cost me as much. I don't have to lay out 8 or 10 grand to get some guy to come in and do a garage renovation. I can spend as little as possible, beg, borrow and steal for all the wood and the stuff, try and get some in the January sales, and then make it as good as I can. Well, yeah, I'm hoping this is video 1 and this is not going to be too long a journey. But I know it's probably going to end up being 6 months to a year, isn't it? But we'll see. Right. Good to see you. Stay tuned.